All right, here we are, our 2018 Chaparral Sunesta 264 Surf Edition. We are here on the beautiful freshwaters of Norris Lake Tennessee, where I should mention this slip is transferable. If anybody wants to keep it right here, they will have the opportunity to do so. There is no trailer included with this one. We can get you a new trailer at our cost if that's something you're interested in, or we can also work with you just to have this shipped to you. Depending on where you're at, we can arrange for shipping anywhere, essentially worldwide. But we've got several options. We got some local transporters and we got some national transporters. And we have shipped boats out of the country before. So this is a one-owner boat. This is a very clean 2018 Chaparral Sunesta 264 Surf Edition. This is powered by the Volvo Penta 350 horsepower inboard outboard engine with a forward-facing dual prop outdrive. More on that here in just a moment. We're here for our video walkthrough tour. As usual, you're going to find the full list, specifications, features, options, current asking price, as well as all of our contact information. All is going to be over at our website as usual. Now, for your convenience, down this video description, there will be a direct link to this one. Take you right to the listing page for this model. So, with that forward-facing Volvo drive and our Malibu Surf Gates, this makes this a surfable model. What's really nice about that forward-facing drive compared to your typical wakeboard boat, this is going to give you a much more family-friendly ride out in the water. See our deep V up here? With this deep V, and again, with that forward-facing drive, this is going to ride more like your average 26-foot runabouts on the lake. Now, this is a fairly heavy boat. We're about 5,500 pounds dry weight. So with that dry weight, again, with this deeper V, with that dual prop forward drive, when you're not doing any water sports, you've got a very nice, comfortable ride in this. It's going to be fine for your busier weekends here on Norris Lake. It's going to be a great option if you're on Lake Cumberland, somewhere with just some bigger water. This is going to be a great option for you. You know, you're not going to have to sacrifice having a very rough ride to get a surfable boat. So that's why these forward drives are great. This is for a family that wants to be able to cruise the lake in comfort, but can still do some surfing behind it. Now, we've also got that wakeboard tower. You're going to be able to do some wakeboarding as well, but now I will tell you right now, your wakeboard wave is going to be more of a beginner to intermediate wave. Just with these forward drives, I mean, that's something that you really need one of those inboard V drives for if you really want to do a lot of wakeboarding. But this is a great option for a family who wants to be able to play around, do some wake surfing, and like I said, and not sacrifice that ride around the lake. So we do have 8 of these pull-up stainless steel mooring cleats. We've got a fuel fill on either side. That's right here over here on your starboard side. We're going to have another fuel fill over here on your port side. So no matter which side of the dock you pull up to, you're always going to have a fuel fill handy, 80-gallon onboard fuel capacity. And of course, while we're here on the platform, this is going to be your stereo remote. We've got a integrated self-draining cooler here on your swim platform. 3-step swim boarding ladder is right underneath this hatch right here. Got another boarding ladder up on the bow of the boat. And then I also want to call your attention, we've got a tow hook right here. This is what you want to use for pulling any inflatables, any tubes. You want to use this right here. Now, if you're surfing, skiing, or wakeboarding, then you can use that tow hook up there on the top of our tower. As you can see, I do have our engine hatch raised, so more on our seating here in this back area after a few, but I want to go ahead and show you a look down into this engine room. Very clean boat. Again, this is a one owner. We've got 88 engine hours on this one. It's a 350 horsepower. Again, the Volvo Penta V8. This is a 4-star emissions rated for California. This is a close cooled engine system, but now you are pulling lake water for your exhaust, cooling your manifolds. But the block itself is internally cooled. Dual batteries for the battery selector switch. Those are 2021 batteries. This could be a waste holding tank right there in the center of your frame. Now we've got about a 10-gallon waste capacity with a vaccu-flush head. More on that here in a few. Battery switch is going to be in this hatch right here, and we've got a small little walk-through transom door right here. Actually, we'll wait and show you that after we lower that engine hatch. So that's going to be a nice feature if you've got some young ones or maybe some four-legged friends like to come to the lake with you. Having that transom door right there to kind of keep everybody corralled is always a nice option. So again, while that hatch comes down, I will actually, let's go ahead and show you our dash display right here while we're taking that hatch down. So we've got that Medallion digital touchscreen display right there in the center. We've got a tachometer over here on your port side of that center display, speedometer over there towards the right. And then you can see on this screen right here, that's showing 87.1 engine hours. Again, we're going to call that 88 because we still got to pull this one out of the slip, get some aerial photographs of it. And then this screen right here is also going to show you your instant fuel economy and average fuel economy. That's a feature that is great to have on any boat because you'd be surprised sometimes a little bit of RPM adjustment can make a big difference in your fuel economy. Top speed on this one has been reached at 51 miles per hour. And fuel percentage right there is in this top left-hand corner. We hit that little gauge switch right there. That's going to show you our engine oil pressure, drive trim gauge, your battery volts, and your engine temp. Digital display for your RPMs and digital display for your speed. Easy access to your cruise control setting right here. That's where you can take that target speed up or down, whether you're running this underway or not. Easy to turn that cruise control on and off right there. This can be a quick setting for daylight and your night screen brightness. Do have an integrated depth finder that also has, also is going to show you your air temp and water temp. Now we are out of the water right now, so we're not getting a depth finder reading right there. And that's just difference of temperature from above the boat and below the boat. So back there, that's our gauge screen that I just showed you. This is going to be a little GPS chart plotter. Now we're up under a covered slip right here, so it's not able to find us and locate where we are. This is going to be your surf feature right here. It's going to be where you can fill your ballast tank and you can surf either left or right sides. Get a little settings menu right here. And then it's going to be your stereo. We've got an AM, FM, USB auxiliary input, Bluetooth satellite ready stereo with the NOAA weather band, the NOAA weather radio station as well. So let's see here. Oh, that is turned off. Let's turn that on. Now we're going to get that NOAA weather radio. So you should kind of recognize that voice right there. Do you have 4 cockpit speakers on board? And let's see, that I believe that kind of does it for most of our settings right here on that display. So we do have 4 speakers on board for that, or cockpit speakers on board for that stereo. And then we've got a pair of Roswell Marine Audio tower speaker sets and a large Roswell Audio subwoofer. That is going to be just for the Helm. I'll show you that here in a minute. We do have tilt steering right here. This is an upgraded leather wrap steering wheel. It's got a little weighted Chaparral logo on that steering wheel right there. USB, that's a dual USB or USB-C charger right there. Docking lights, your water pressure system switch right here. Lower switch. We did function test everything on this one. Everything did operate. Actually, I'll turn those cockpit lights on right now. We're going to see some lighted speakers and a few other like courtesy lights around the interior here. I'll leave those on so you can see those while we're walking around. And like I said, we also function test the navigation lights, anchor light, bilge pump, and functional horn. All that does function as it should. So before we leave our helm station here, we've also got PTM Edge rearview mirror and dual bolstered driver and passenger seats. What we mean by the dual bolster is that simply raises up and down. Really like these Chaparral seat controls right here. You've got two handles on either side. You're not reaching underneath the let's see, that's going to slide it back, slide it forward. Not reaching under the seat, trying to figure out which lever does what. They're easy to access, one on either side. They're labeled. This one's going to let you rotate around. Again, you got that flip-up bolster. Same over here in your passenger seat. Got those handles where you can reach them and labeled. Got that flip-up bolster as well. And here is our onboard head compartment. This lockable head compartment. We've got a Dometic vaccu-flush head system, little sink and a port window down here, as well as a little cabin light. A little storage on the inside of this door, a little storage built in underneath that sink. There's your toilet tissue, paper holder right there. Again, this is a vaccu-flush system. It's not a porta potty. It's not a electric head. That vaccu-flush system is, in my mind, the best option you're going to find in a runabout or a cruiser. You don't have a grinder built into it, so that vacuum pump's basically going to build pressure, and whenever you step on that little pedestal right there to flush, basically uses suction to get rid of that waste, take it to a waste holding tank. And then we've got a dockside waste pump out. All right. Now, as promised, underneath our driver's helm, I do want to show you we got a little built-in wind block, which is also a nice feature. Okay, so with that windshield closed over, that wind block in place, that's going to be great for those cooler times of the year, whether it's early season, late season, or even get caught out in the rain, or just a cooler day out in the water. So underneath our driver's helm, again, more storage space. This is that big Roswell subwoofer. And we got first aid kit down here as well. You got a small little fuse panel. Fire extinguisher is mounted the way it's supposed to be. And this can be a removable lounge table. Notice this is kind of stored in a little rack right there. Your mount for this is just behind this. I can lean this. I may need to pull it out. Pull that out of there. There's your mount for our cockpit table. Drop this back in its little holder. It's always nice when things have a place. Always know where they are. And we'll close that, walk through on back. Okay, walk through windshield up here. I've got our bow filler cushions in place. Now there is a mount for that cockpit table up here in our bow area. And our other mount is going to be right back here. We'll have photos of that cockpit table in both of the mount locations over at the website. Like I said, that video, down in that video description, is going to be a direct link that's going to take you over to our listing page for this one, where you're going to see a big photo slideshow tour, where we try to kind of show the layout, kind of a walkthrough of the model itself. And then we're going to show you the wear and tear. We'll do the same thing, the video tour, after we're done kind of highlighting all the features on this one. We'll get up close and personal, show you the wear and tear that is present on this one. So 12 total cup holders on board. We've got 4 of those up here in the bow area, all stainless steel cup holders. 2 speakers up here as well, and then the cockpit speakers that I did reference earlier, we got one of those down here, another one back here. Again, 2 more of those cup holders back there as well. All right, so I do want to pull our bow filler cushions up, just so we can show you, bug in there, get out of the way, just so we can show you a few other features up here. So pull these out of the way. I'm just going to set them up here on the side of this seat for now. And then these little support bars right here, they just lift right out. And there's also dedicated storage space for those bow filler cushion bars as well. So wanted to show you, we've got a really nice secondary in-floor storage locker right here. This is lockable. Okay, we've got some life jackets down here, 2 floats. Now the personal life vests are going to be excluded here, as well as those floats. But we will have some of these orange life vests that will be transferring with the sale of this one. So this is your secondary in-floor locker. This is the smaller of the two. If I back up a little bit, here's our larger of the two right here. This one's also lockable. And now we've got a surfboard's not included on this one. And we've also got a fat sack down here. This fat sack is plumbed in from the factory at Chaparral. This out of here. This is about 1,000 and I think it's like 62-pound capacity fat sack here. And this is a large in-floor storage compartment. We've got more storage just over here. Is a little water toy up there. That's your onboard water pump for your water pressure system. But again, just wanted to highlight how large the storage capacity is. And of course, that's a large ballast bag as well. Again, that's over 1,000 pounds of ballast. So between that and your Malibu Surf Gates and that forward facing drive, you've got a really nice surfable boat. So again, 2 in-floor storage lockers do lock. And also, I think I failed to mention this storage area underneath your helm is also lockable. Now, another thing I wanted to show you up here is this little seat cushion right here is removable. And it's going to give you a step for internexing on your bow area right here. We've got a 4-step boarding ladder up here off the bow. Little integrated anchor storage locker. And it's going to be your nav lights up here. You just simply swing those around when it's nighttime. Otherwise, it's out of the way, so you're not worrying about snagging it while you're climbing on and off of your bow area right there. Underneath the center seat is also another self-draining insulated little ice box. So essentially got 2 integrated self-draining onboard coolers or ice chest. Our armrest up here in the bow seating area. These will go up and down. That's in the down position right there. You want to raise them up, you just simply pull them up, clicks right there into place. Okay, showed you our head compartment. Here's another cup holder up here. So again, there's 12 total cup holders. Now, if you count the 2 that are integrated into that removable lounge table, you're going to have 14 total cup holders. And additional storage space underneath these seats here. Pull these out of the way here and show you how much storage we've got here. A ton of storage on this 264 Sunesta. So again, here's our dedicated space for those bow filler cushion support bars. Here's your cover poles. Now, the items in here are not going to be included except for this. This right here is part of the boat. This is a little integrated air compressor. It's 12-volt operated. So you got this little storage rack for it, and that's going to plug into your 12-volt power outlet. But to give you a sense for how big that is, we got several floats down in there. We've actually got a inflatable stand-up paddleboard, a manual pump, and an inflatable, that's a 3-person tube down in that compartment. So tons of storage space. We'll put our seats back in place right here. And this one right here as well. Our tower here is a folding tower. Tower mount bimini top. 2 spinning Roswell board racks, 1 on either side. You're just going to simply pull this pin up here. It's going to swivel around. You notice right there why those need to get swung in because of how close we are to that pole right there in the slip. Swing that in. It's going to have 3 positions where you can kind of lock that into place. One's going to be, let's see, or is it just the 2? Oh, just the 2 positions on that one. Some of those are 3. So you got all the way in and all the way out. That's where that pin's going to lock in place. Underneath this seat right here is additional cooler storage space. There is going to be I believe it's a 25-quart igloo cooler. That's going to kind of fit in that little tray right there. And let's see, we raised our engine hatch, but now we're going to show you our lounge seat right here. There's a little gas shock under there. You just pull against that. That locks into place, okay? So here's your sun lounge, your little integrated sun lounge built into the top of that engine hatch. 4 cup holders back here. two here kind of towards the inside, two back here to the right. So if you are using that in that back-to-back position, if you're facing the back, you got two right there. Facing forward, you got two right there. And then our seat back right here, this is going to have three different positions for your little sun lounge right here. So that's in the, well, one up from all the way, being all the way flat. There's your second position right there. And then that third position is just going to be a little bit more upright right there. So those slots, you just drop that into place. And there you are. Okay, this one's yacht certified. That means U.S. Coast Guard does not issue a capacity plate for it. They're basically trusting you. They're saying this boat's large enough. They're letting the captain be in charge. Now there is a formula for it where you can figure out you know, exactly how many, but they're basically saying be responsible. We can share that formula with you, let you know about what your max would be. But again, that max is going to be based off of 150 pounds for the average person. So, but again, that's a good guide, let you know kind of the top end of that range, and then, you know, it depends on how large your persons are on board. So I did point out we've got the forward and starboard side fuel fills. This is going to be your waste holding tank pump out. For that vaccu-flush system. Again, that was about 10 gallons. Onboard freshwater tank was actually down in this hatch right here. I forget if I pointed that out to you or not. That is about a 13.5 gallon capacity. Here's going to be your freshwater tank fill. And we got about an 80 gallon fuel tank capacity. So let's see, I think we covered all the features in here. So now we're going to, well, actually I did not show you this door. So there's that door in that closed position. Now that will swing in or swing out. And battery switch is going to be right behind here. That's a dual batteries with battery selector switch. And so now we're going to show you that wear and tear. And there's not a whole lot in the interior of this. I'm going to go turn those cockpit lights off. So, but we do have right here behind this armrest, we've got a little screw that's coming through the inside of that helm station right there. I'm not sure if they hit the wrong spot with that screw, or if they use the wrong length screw, but that's poking out right there. It's put a little bit of a puncture on the back of that armrest right there. Okay, other side's fine. There's nothing over here on this side. And let's see, up here on our tachometer, we've got a small little scratch on the cover of that tachometer there. Let me move that light around so you can see it. There's a small little scratch up here on our PTM edge rearview mirror. Otherwise, upholstery looks great throughout. I mean, this is literally in like new condition. Very impressive, especially with it being a 2018 model. Small little scratch on this head compartment right here. That's almost minimal. I used to think my buddy Steve had probably the cleanest Chaparral 264 Sunesta on the lake, but I'm telling you, this one is really giving him a run for the money. Very great condition. Was detailed here recently. Here's your swim platform with that marine mat flooring. And then also I should point out that is the that's that snap-in vinyl weave flooring there in the cockpit. All that's removable. All that's on snap. So every bit of that can remove if you choose. And let's start showing that wear and tear on the exterior. I'm going to give you another good look at our forward-facing drive right here. So again, if you're doing any kind of surfing at all, and you have an inboard outboard, and you got a stern drive that's coming out the back of the boat, it is illegal to surf behind any boat where the prop extends beyond the transom. So again, with this forward-facing drive, that prop, now it's trimmed in that up position right now. So when that gets trimmed down, that drive slides forward. So that's what's going to make it legal to surf behind this boat. You'd have to have a forward-facing drive. Now, MerCruiser has come out with the forward-facing drive to compete with Volvo. But Volvo was the first to come out with that forward-facing drive. And then again, Chaparral is basically borrowing the Surf Gates from Malibu boats. So with those Surf Gates, that's really going to give you a nice shaped a wake to be able to wake surf off of. Okay, we got a little bit of wear back here around your rub rail. Okay, a few little minor scratches right in here, maybe a little bit of oxidation on that black just below the rub rail, but that's pretty much limited back here to the transom side of things. This is like some kind of a stain that maybe with some cleaner that'll come off. Another one right here. All right, and then moving on around, we got, I mean, this is being real picky here, but if you look in really close, and the light's going to have to hit this just right. We always try to show photographs of the wear and tear, and then also the video. But now an area like this is really hard to get this to actually show. So see, if we get close down there, if that light angle is hitting it just right, we've got some real small little scratches on that edge. That's probably something that did not photograph well. And that'd be about the only time we're not going to show wear and tear in our photographs. If you can't tell what you're looking at, or just don't even see any wear and tear in the photograph, then that's probably not a photograph we'll use. So that's why these video tours can show you a lot more about the condition of the boat than the photographs will. Now up here on this top edge, similar things right in here. So again, these are like really minor, just slight scratches in that gel coat. And that also, I mean, that light's got to hit it just right. That's an area we tried to photograph, and you couldn't really notice any of that. Now we do have another little mark in that gel coat right here. That one's kind of, there is a little bit of a groove right there. That one I believe you will find in the photographs. All right, and then dropping down below that rub rail edge, that's just going to be some pollen right there. Back here around our Chaparral logo, we got one small little nick in that gel coat right here. Just barely catching the edge on that one. Another real minor one right here. Otherwise, we just got a few water spots on that Chaparral logo. This looks like a little bitty little nick in that gel coat right there. And got a few more of these. And this also was an area. Find the spot right in here. This is an area that definitely the video tour is going to show you a little bit more than the photographs. Okay, here we are here. So we got a few other little minor marks in this gel coat. Again, that's catching edge right there. It's kind of through that black gel coat where it's showing that white. See, notice how this one here is just a little bit brighter. That means that's basically a sign that one's a little bit deeper. Okay, it's not into the fiberglass. That's into the gel coat right there. And then up from that, we got a few little marks of like really minor scratches in the gel coat in these areas right here. And like I said, this one was just detailed, so these may have been worse before it was detailed, and then they kind of disappeared a little bit, but there's just a few of these marks that are still kind of remaining. And like I said, we like to represent all of our inventory exactly as possible, so if we see anything like that, we are going to do our best to show it to you, so you can make an informed decision about any of our listings without actually having to travel to see all of them in person. And of course, that is a step that you're eventually going to take, but you know, if you can narrow down your options a little bit more before you start traveling around, we find that's something that people do appreciate. Now up here on our rub rail itself, we do have a little bit of wear. Now, this is stainless steel rub rail right here. You got like a hard plastic insert above and below that little stainless steel strip. So you're seeing a little bit of wear on the plastic piece, but not so much back here. I think it's more up towards the front here is where you're going to see that. So it's starting about right here. Almost like some surface scratches on that stainless steel insert. There's another little area right there. Again, we just want to show you all that. Try to represent everything as accurately as possible. And a little bit more right in here. Does it continue on up? Yes, it does. Right on up here. Okay, now again, below that rub rail, things look very clean on this one. There's another area of just some pollen on there. We're going to get that little wipe. Down below the waterline, things look really clean. Now, there is one mark down here, and we'll try to get as close as we can to it. It's a little bit out of our reach, so we're really not able to gauge. Let me try. Okay, this one I can reach this one. Let's see. Is that showing up? these are like some very minor scratches in the gel coat. None of these are deep, just barely detecting an edge in that area right there with my fingernail. So, but again, we just want to call that out to you. Starting about right here, and it does kind of go up to about right there. Okay. Actually, now we're a little bit closer. I'm seeing a little bit of that down here as well. Again, none of that is deep, but there are just some real minor scratches on there. Those are probably from the bunk carpeting, maybe on this lift right here. Now this part here is out of our reach. There's a little spot up here near the bow section. That does not appear to be anything major, or perhaps not even into the gel coat there, but I do want to call your attention to it. That may even just be some adhesive up there, but just out of our reach. All right, coming up around the bow here. Let's see if I can grab this tie up rope here, kind of hold it back, give you a better look down there at that V-hole. Again, below the water line looks really clean, but I don't know if you can see that spot right there. It's just almost looks like a little piece of adhesive that just didn't get removed. Maybe when this one was delivered, that transport cover, there is a transport cover going with this. There is a full mooring cover, but the transport cover is something that would have been on there from the factory. It's a great winter cover. I definitely wouldn't use it in my day-to-day use of the boat, but it depends on where the boat's stored. I mean, if you're under a covered slip like this, that mooring cover is just fine. I mean, really all it is a dust cover. But if you were storing it outdoors or something like that in the winter season, that transport cover might be a great option for you. All right, we're going to try to get you a little bit closer coming down this port side. Just a few areas over here that we also wanted to point out to you. So right up here, see if we can get this to show right here. This almost looks like a fender transfer right here. So fender transfers, most of your fenders are like a rubber or vinyl, and oftentimes they get up close to the boat or get really pushed against it. They'll kind of transfer some of that material off, especially like the rubber or vinyl ones. To me, that looks like what this is. But it's going to be right in there coming down. So I want to call your attention to that. All right, moving on down this side. It's another really light mark up here on this edge. Very minor light scratch in that gel coat. Let me follow this lift here we're next to. That feels like some dirt that might come off, but again, it's just some real light scratches right there. Nothing really visible at all. As you look down below that water line, there were a few spots over here. Let me see if we can find them. Again, sometimes that lighting's got to hit things just right. Okay, here it is right here. Again, this is one we tried to photograph. I don't remember if this one showed up or not. We got a really light surface scratch. Again, that could even be a fender transfer. There it is. That disappeared. There it is again. That ends about right there. So again, if I move that around just enough, you can kind of see it. And that's part of why we considering this one to be as clean as it is. There's just very limited wear and tear. And like I said, what is here? I mean, you're almost having to be really picky for. Here's another little, just a little bit in that rub rail there. Nothing at all. It's going to deter me or even bother me or even give me any pause. Again, moving on back. Not seeing anything at all up here. No stress cracks around our tower. feet. Got a really light little might be a scratch in the gel coat, but very light. And coming on back around, Chaparral logo over here also looks to be in great shape. Here's our other surf gate back here near our port side corner. And a small little impact on a rub row right here. Again, if you don't hit this at the right angle, that's not going to show. Small little ding right there. And here's another look at that forward facing drive. It's again, very little wear on this guy. Oh, there was one other spot up here. Let me show you. Right here, we got something right in there, and that's feels like some sealant that was kind of put over top of that. That may have kind of been into that gel coat a little bit. That kind of looks like they put some product over to try to seal it up. But yeah, I'm guessing maybe in a few spots right there, maybe something did kind of hit that and chip that gel coat. They kind of tried to seal it up, at least get rid of any sharp edges, but that is a little area right there. So just want to call your attention to that. Like I said, we try to represent everything as accurately as possible. So if we do see something, we are going to show it to you. So that's going to start to wrap things up for this one. Again, this is the 2018 Chaparral Sunesta 264 Wake Surf Edition. There's not a whole lot of these surf models out there, but this is a great option, like I said, for a family that just mainly maybe wants to cruise around the lake and have a nice smooth ride in a deep V, 26 feet 4 inches your length on this one, 8.5 foot beam, just over 5,500 pounds dry weight. This can be a great option for you, especially with that onboard vaccu-flush head, and then again with those surf gates. I mean, this is just a great family boat. I mean, it's going to be something, even if you're maybe not crazy about surfing, if you got kids or grandkids, it is a lot of fun out there. I mean, you basically got an endless surf wake. Now you do want to be responsible about where you're surfing. There are laws in place to prevent you from repeated passes, and you do need channels that are wider than 400 feet without any. Don't want to surf in front of the marinas or other private docks. But here on Norris Lake, there's plenty of areas where you can legally surf. And again, with this deeper V, unlike your true wakeboard and surf boats, you're going to have a much more comfortable ride when you're not surfing. So that's one reason why I really like these forward-facing drives. I feel like they're a little bit of a game changer out there for families that do want to maybe do some surfing, but just don't want to be in one of those inboard V-drive boats, just because I don't care how big those are never going to be a real smooth ride. You're always going to kind of get beat up, especially if you're out there on the weekends in certain areas of Norris where it's a little bit more crowded. So again, 2018, one owner, freshwater use, under 90 engine hours, 350 horsepower, Volvo Penta with that forward-facing drive, the Malibu Surf Gates. Any questions about this one, please reach out to us through the website. We do not monitor that YouTube comment page, so if you do have any questions about this one, if you want to schedule a time to come see it in person, submit an offer, or anything like that, you do want to do so through our website. And then as we start to wrap up here, two things will be coming up over top of your screen as we sign off. One's going to be a shortcut to our current listings playlist there at YouTube. If you want to see what else we have for sale, but you don't want to leave YouTube, that's the link you're going to want to look for. Again, that's the current listings playlist. You can also get to that by going to youtube.com/yournewboat. And then the other pop-up is going to be a shortcut to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you haven't already, it's a great way to get notified anytime a new video post, which basically means a new listing's coming up. No matter what your reasons are for watching our video tours, we're happy to have you as a subscriber. Can't thank you enough. One of these days we'll get enough subscribers where YouTube will send us a pretty little plaque. So again, it's 2018 Chaparral 264 Sunesta with the Surf Gates. Thank you for joining us.